Wonderful. So I think I am here and we are going to go ahead and get started shortly. I am excited to be able to speak with you all today about sustainable packaging considerations. I will go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Victoria Lopez, and I work here at Fox Packaging, and I partner with Fox Solutions, and I work handling our marketing program. So a lot of that is communication. And in what this time is extending out that baton, letting individuals know that they are seen, they're heard, and that we are taking in consideration where they would like us to go. So I am going to go ahead and give us just a couple moments here to see if anybody is going to jump on. Again, we do have the chat option available. So if anybody would like to ask questions, I am more than happy to address any of your packaging concerns. So I do have a presentation in line, which we can just go over. Let's see. All right, I'll give us just a couple moments here. Everyone's getting settled in. It's nice to see some of you. So I have been here with Fox Packaging for a little bit now, and I've had the exciting time of learning more about packaging, about the plastics, about the structural designs, and the production approach to sustainable packaging. And not only that, but communicating this to our customers. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with jumping into this presentation. And again, chats are open. Any questions that we might have, we are happy to have you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get into this. Right here. Share, and I'm going to give this a full screen view. All right, we are kicking. This is day 3 of United Fresh Live 2020, and this has been a new virtual platform that we have been learning to navigate. I believe that it is a fun and digital way to extend out to our customers and partners and to really put a face to the name and create that visual partnership. Getting into the presentation now. Day 3, we are going to be talking about how to build a retailer-approved sustainable packaging program. And the biggest aspect of this is honest and transparent communication and really putting forth what our true goals are. So, going to move on to this next slide. Fox Packaging. So for those of you who may not be acquainted with what Fox Packaging does for our fresh produce industry, we have been in flexible packaging for over 50 years now. We are a family-owned company. We are growing, we are thriving, and we are each day learning something new about our industry, about materials, about how to better serve our customer base. We see here some points: brand messaging, quality value features, cost saving, sustainability goals, and thought partnership. And you could, as a whole, ask, well, you know, there are some other packaging companies who offer some of these same benefits. Victoria, how does Fox Packaging differ? From my experiences here at Fox Packaging and working with our customer base is that packaging is going to end up in the hands of the consumer, and it's going to be taken home. And you are not only creating brand loyalty and brand recognition, but you are giving this physical object, a baton, space in a home for that family to be educated. So brand messaging, what are you as a brand owner wanting to communicate? Quality to value features. In this time, we are seeing some certain trends because of these health concerns that are ongoing due to COVID-19. And we are seeing an increase in food packaging of consumers wanting those consumer-sized packages of food to eliminate the amount of hand-on-hand contact that customers are having with their produce that they will take home and feed with their family. Of course, there are many corroborations that plastic packaging is not a carrier and that no cases have been certified as being transferred by plastic packaging. And there are a couple different reasons for that, and we will get into that a little bit later. And cost savings. So we're being able to push out more fresh produce into our homes, into our communities through larger commodity sizes. Sustainability goals. We enjoy working with our customers who are initiating the sustainability conversations regarding their packaging programs and thought partnership. We are excited to try new things and to share our experiences with you and to learn more about our customers' pain points, whether it be in their distribution line, whether it's an automation concern. Some of the challenges that our nation and global that we're facing is that there is a lot of waste. There is a lot of materials that are good and healthy finding their ways to the landfills. And here we're able to see point number one, 21.9% of that waste is food waste. 19.2% is plastics and 13.1% is paper and paperboard, and that data was released through the EPA this year. So understanding that and a little bit about modern landfills. The landfills are not built to break down products. If anything, some of those certain required properties such as sunlight and air, they are eliminated from the environment, and we're not being able to see these products break down in a way that it was designed to. So that brings us to point number two, where there is a bigger demand for compostable and biodegradable packaging, but we do not currently have the sufficient infrastructure to support that intended end-of-life design. So this brings us back to discuss a little bit more about our circular economies. And point number three, throwaway culture has impacted that plastic packaging perception, pulling away from those benefits because we are villainizing a product that in so many ways serves us in our everyday and protects our family's health. So talking a little bit about throwaway culture. For a moment, for a couple days, for a week, sit in your home and see how often you're seeing plastic come through, how often you're seeing paper being thrown into the trash can, although some of these properties can easily reach your recycling center. Again, according to your recycling centers, you do have to check with your local municipalities to see how they are structuring their programs. So in my city, we are here in McAllen, Texas, I cannot recycle a number 4 resin identification code packaging application, but there are participating in-store programs where you can drop off these bags. I know I collect them throughout the week and I put them in a bag, and when I go to Target, I drop them off there. And these are small little proactivities that we can make in our households to contribute to the overall larger picture and our circular economies. Moving on, and again, if you guys have any questions, I do see the chat feature here and I'm glad to answer any questions. But I do want to point out that packaging priorities are often dependent on what the company wants to accomplish. So the definition of sustainability must be clear. We did do an interview with And Now You Know most recently to really talk about the word sustainability. This does vary. To some customers, sustainability is innovative design. To others, it may be materials and the carbon footprint impact. Others, market cost and impression, food waste and shelf life, and then overall recyclability. This is another category in which Fox Packaging excels because we look forward to addressing your pain points, addressing the direction in which your sustainability program would like to go so that we can partner with you in thought leadership and collaborate with our suppliers to ensure that you in the end are getting a product that represents your brand's overall goals, and that two, you are communicating your proactivity to these goals to consumers via your packaging. Now I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to some of our signature Fox packaging products. You're going to go ahead and see the Fox Fresh Mesh bag, Fox Fresh Mesh Wicketed combo. You may recognize some of these brands. You may have seen bags like these on the shelf. And it's actually very interesting because some customers have asked, well, I'm in this bag and I do not believe that it's sustainable. And one of our next questions is why? What data are you seeing? Because sometimes exactly the bag that you are currently in is the most sustainable option for your commodity and for your brand, but also in support of your production line. So I'm going to jump over and I will be returning back to the slide. More than anything when it comes to sustainability is you want to have a like-minded partner, understanding that in the end, a sustainable packaging product overall improves the package, it extends the shelf life of that commodity, and it just serves a better product. Because in the end, we want to be diverting and creating less packaging and less food in our landfills. Fox Packaging is very excited to be a member of the Sustainable Packaging Coalition. We believe that this was the right move for our company according to our goals and mission, which is ultimately to protect food and to ensure that families and communities are healthy and fed. So we have worked with the How to Recycle team and the Green Blue Coalition with Sustainable Packaging Coalition, and our bags have been assessed. And how I mentioned earlier, you are able to collect these packages and take them to a participating in-store program. So in the end, some individuals may ask, well, why is that any different than me putting it in a blue bin on my curbside program? Well, again, this is according to your municipality. Does your city have a single stream recycling program, or will you need to go to that store? There's a reason that we take these bags to the store, because these packages and packaging applications are specifically sent to material recovery facilities that have the infrastructure to recycle flexible packaging without, how would you say, creating a large paper jam in these machinery applications. So it is done intentionally. Moving forward, some of the concerns we've received more than anything is, well, Fox Packaging, Fox Solutions, we want to be sustainable. We want to make these strides in our packaging program. We are willing to make the adjustments to our packaging design and materials, but ultimately we are appealing to retailers. That is ideal because in the end, to feed a healthy circular economy, we need to have collaborative partnerships. So I have gotten the feedback, well, if I make this package more recyclable, or if I reduce the materials, how in the end will a consumer know the designated end of life application for this packaging design? And again, this comes with education and understanding that your label is a billboard for your brand and for your sustainability efforts. So the How to Recycle label, how we see right here, you don't even have to dedicate too much of your label print space to showcase the call to action for a consumer. This would go fairly small next to your UPC, and in the end, it's showing your dedication to the circular economy and to the sustainable efforts that your team has curated. Bringing up one of the challenges that we face is the biodegradable and compostable packaging applications. So in the end, if you do not see a How to Recycle label, or If you do not see a label through the Biodegradable Product Institute stating that this is a compostable or biodegradable packaging application, you must understand that these packages still need to find a commercial or industrial composting center. And there have been some certain conversations that I've been reading about to where in the end, there still is difficulty in the processing of these materials. So not only is there still the contingency of the recyclability, but you're also having to face the communication efforts. So how will these customers and consumers know to drop off that bag in a certain place? So in the end, you can still have these bio or compostable packages ending up in our recycling stream. And if they have perhaps over 15% of content, you are contaminating that stream. So we do have to be conscientious of these certain parameters so that we can curate a packaging design that is realistic to our current infrastructure. So we use the word realistic in sustainability because we are receiving a lot of feedback. We are learning from our customers as to which direction they like to go. And we take all of this into account and see, okay, in the overall picture of it, how will Fox Packaging be able to better serve our customer base to ensure that their packaging stays on the retailer shelves? Moving on over here. So through collaboration, there can be a more stable definition of sustainability ahead. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if anyone has a question, I am more than happy to approach that in a Fox Packaging answer. So we have also been seeing a large concern for automation. You may be moving into a pouch program. You have a stand-up combo pouch where you're having perhaps either an LDPE, linear low density polyethylene, or you're having a high density polyethylene format with the mesh. So we have received some questions. Well, I'm seeing a couple different packaging components here. How is that still recyclable? How can we still drop that off? One of our biggest challenges in packaging design is reducing the amount of materials that we are ultimately using in the bag. So if you're using 3 or more different components, then you are creating a package design that is not recycling friendly. So another thing is with pouch bags, you are significantly reducing the amount of weight. So we have heard the term lightweighting. There's a lot of down gauging. So if you're perhaps in a thicker mill of plastic, you can work to reduce that to lightweight the package. And in the end, when these pallets are put on the truck, you are using less carbon footprint, you're releasing less greenhouse gases. One of the benefits that Fox Packaging offers is that too, we have a sister company by the name of Fox Solutions, where we curate and manufacture and distribute automation solutions. So another aspect of sustainability is too, reducing that amount of waste that's going into the efficiencies of your operation. So you are protecting your labor force by creating a less hazardous production line. You are also understanding that the less that goes into it, the less touch points of the produce and of the packaging, the higher health rating you will have. And ultimately, if you do put these communication factors onto your packaging, you will be showcasing your dedication to sustainability. And with retailers, they have set certain goals. So perhaps it's outlined by 2025, we are wanting to have that how to recycle label on your package. One of the steps that Fox Packaging has had to go through is to ensure that we are an approved flexible packaging printer for the How to Recycle label. This is a membership-based program, but if you reach out to me, and my email is victoria.lopez@foxbag.com, or you can go onto our website, foxbag.com, and reach out to connect to a representative, and that email will get to us, and we will ensure that you get to communicate with our team to discuss your specific sustainability goals. Something else that we are seeing a lot, especially in the retail realm, is recyclability, having that How to Recycle label communication, a reduction in the overall plastic components that you are using in your packaging, and then that last one is reducing the amount of plastic included. So there is a post-consumer recycled material. We consider that a post-consumer resin. So in the end, what happens is all of these packages, all of these plastics that are recycled are regrinded and turned back into resin, in which our suppliers will use and be able to blow new plastic, new materials, which get sent here to Fox Packaging and converted into a new package for you to distribute and showcase on the shelf. So why is post-consumer packaging taking I would say they're taking the crown at this point. I believe that not only does it look nice on the shelf, it shows a company's dedication. And I will throw out a company that I see is doing really well with rigid packaging. It is 7th generation. And sometimes if you want to learn a little bit about how to communicate that, walk around at Target, look at some of these packages that are on there, because Target specifically, you have Aldi, and you will have Costco coming up looking at post-consumer resin packaging. Most of their goals that they have outlined on their websites are about 20%, 25% of post-consumer materials used in the packaging design. So how can we as a flexible packaging partner contribute? Well, the best way to build the post-consumer market is to participate in it. Right now, you will see cost differences. If you were to send us an email and ask a little bit about how to have a sustainable packaging program using these specific materials, there will be a cost, but in the end, you are ensuring that your package is going to stay on the shelf, that it's meeting the sustainability goals, and that ultimately it's almost a safeguard, and it contributes to your brand's storytelling and reputation. So if anybody, again, has any questions, I can probably talk for 2 hours straight, no problem. So another thing I've seen is reducing the amount of package. So with automation, you do need to have a little bit of extra packaging plastic on there to ensure that we're sitting on the wickets right, that these little hands are being able to pull the package over to the next station so that it could be filled and packed and sealed. So with automation, yes, there is the additional plastic included in the bag, because we need to ensure that your operations will continue forth so that you can meet your distribution goals. Another is the layers. So how many different layers are being used in your package? There's monolayer, there's multi-layer, and this is something that if you would like more information on, we are more than glad to talk to you about that. And I do want to bring up another point, which is the overall sustainability overview. If you have a biodegradable or compostable package and they're comprised of these materials, what do your inventories look like? How are you going to store these products? And in the end, have you done proper testing to ensure that they will sit on the shelf with health, or perhaps some bags are left over from one season and we want to save them for the next, given that the label does not change. Will these bags still be to quality in this next season? So these are all considerations. Only about 9% of all the plastics that are being produced are getting recycled. And this is another reason why we are we are, through retailers' direction, trying to reduce that overall percentage by supporting the post-consumer resin industry and market. So yes, initially, if you would like to get into a package like this, it may be more expensive, and it will be, but the more that we can continue to support this market, we will begin to see reduced costs for initial materials. And we did see that with HDPE as well. So we did see increased costs to be able to source these materials, and well, because of the health concerns, there have been some impacts on our oil industries, etc., which have trickled down to our plastics, because in the end, plastics capture these gases prior to releasing them into our environment. So instead of these harmful gases being in our breathing air, we capture them and transform them into plastic, which serves us every day. I would like to address a little bit of the villainization of plastic. So sometimes we have to think back and get back to the basics. Why plastic? Why did we believe that we needed to divert over to using or innovating a material like plastic? And it was to combat deforestation. We were losing a lot of our trees, and now the paper industry does do the sustainable forestry. So that is very nice to see. And there are comparisons between plastic and paper, but ultimately, we should not make our packaging decisions based on whether we prefer one or the other, but whether it is best for our commodity. If you have an onion, you may love a stand-up pouch bag. You may love the branding space on the front and the back, and you may think, okay, well, an onion will look great in there, but according to those natural properties of that commodity, you would be putting it in perhaps the worst bag for it, because onions need to breathe. Even if you transition over to a stand-up combo bag, that's still not enough breathing room for this commodity. We are testing certain things for avocados as well, shallots. How can we put some of these different commodities into packaging that still is recyclable, that is still reusable, combating some of these net clip bags and these header bags, or some of these D-pack bags? I find some of my family buying certain bags, and you just rip them open and pour them into a bowl and toss away the bag. And in one sense, yes, you are able to reduce the touch points, and you are able to increase the amount of volume of commodity sent, but it became instant trash in that sense, unless there are the right materials being used. Another form of sustainability that does impact recycling is the way these bags are printed on. So the recycling process, there's water used, yes. There's now a big conversation going on in chemical recycling. So how will that help us continue to have a sustainable approach to packaging? If you are reverse print laminating on these bags, that's not going to wash off easily in the recycling area. You're contaminating it. It's not going to be a high volume or high value batch of post-consumer materials. So these are all just small tidbits, and I will go back to this slide that I did have on earlier. It should be up here. Here we go. Right here. So this goes back to that recyclability point of approaching sustainability. Overall, we do want to work with interested partners and create better collaborations. How can we all together as an industry better reclaim some of these materials? But better yet, how can we sort these materials so that we are being able to differentiate what type of plastic it is? And that's another big win for the How to Recycle label. So I do have someone on here, and if you would like to ask a question, I'm more than happy to curate the conversation to whatever your sustainability needs or questions might be. I am wrapping up what is or has been our half-hour conversation of just very introductory aspects to sustainability. I would like to end this conversation by saying that Fox Packaging is an innovative packaging partner. We enjoy running samples and testing these materials, not just to make sure that the bag looks good, but that our production operations are able to support the properties of this material. Is it sticky? Does it have a different melting point? Does it run the same as some of these alternate materials? And making sure that you're garnering these packages in a position that's going to set you up to win in front of that retailer. So in the end, we want you to have the best bag for your commodity so that you can go to these meetings and feel supported by us, your packaging partners. If at any point you have a pitch that you would like to make, you want to introduce a new commodity, you want to put a bag more into a retail sized package, we love working on these type of projects because not only does it show our dedication and commitment to our customers, but it pushes us to continue to ask the questions who, what, where, when, why, and it supports our mission to streamlining the processes so that perhaps our nation is not at the point where everything is perfectly circular, but at least here at Fox Packaging, our partnerships and our conversations can set us up to be in that winning position. So again, if you would like to reach out, my email is victoria.lopez@foxbag.com, and you can reach out to us at info@foxbag.com. And we would be happy to approach your packaging needs and to have some more of these conversations, because in the end, we want to divert plastic from our landfills, and we want to support our farmer and agricultural partners to make sure that it is communities consuming their commodities and not the landfills. Thank you again, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of this virtual United Fresh show.